So I'm 32, single, and completely lost in life. And not to mention, right now, I also am going through the throes of a really bad rheumatoid arthritis flare, which I've been in for months, which has only made my mental health way worse. I also don't have any kids or anything, and I just feel like I literally have no direction in life. Like, I don't have things to look forward to. I don't have things to like build my life around. I am employed, which I'm very, very grateful for, because I know that some people are feeling how I feel, and they also are unemployed looking for a job or just not financially stable. And I feel like that is the one thing that I do have going for me right now. And yeah, so I'm grateful for that. But my job is work from home, which I also am very grateful for. I don't want it to change. But obviously, it adds to the loneliness element that I've been dealing with, and has made it very easy for me to add to my own isolation. So yeah, but basically, I don't know, I just wanted to make this video to kind of like, of course I know people, I'm not alone and people relate, but it can just feel so lonely. Like, nobody gets how it feels to like just keep getting older, being chronically single, and just doing life all by yourself, which what it feels like. And also, I want to mention, like, I don't live in my hometown, like, so I don't live close at all to family. Even my closest friends are long distance friends now, and most of my close friends, or all my friends, like any type of friend, are of course either in a relationship or have kids by now. And yeah, just in a completely different chapter of life. I don't really have any friends that are in a similar stage of life to me. So that's also really, really hard. But something I've been realizing with therapy and just like in general is, since I've been out of high school, I've kind of been independent. I've lived in different countries. I've gotten used to being on my own, and even growing up, there wasn't like that much of an emotional connection between me and my family. Like, I love them and they're amazing, but just emotionally, I always felt isolated, which, was also my fault. Even though I was a kid, that I was also closed off, but I think that created like a hole inside of me, like this emptiness that going through life, I really crave and search for security and safety and love. And I've noticed that only in romantic relationships do I kind of feel like the weight is off my shoulders, and I feel again like this kind of safety in life. And yeah, so even though I would consider myself chronically single, I've had two major relationships. They were both unconventional, you could say. One of them was pretty much 100% long distance, and the other one was like a glorified situationship, like a glorified 2-year situationship. But both of them, like I said, just knowing that that person was there, that was thinking of me all the time, and kind of considering me the same amount I was considering them, even when it was long distance. Like, I talked to that person all the time, all day, all night, and I just knew that they regarded me in the same way I regarded them, which there's just such a comfort in that. And yeah, so over the last 4 to 5 years, both of those have ended and left me feeling just such a profound emptiness. And I want to be clear, I know I'm talking a lot about the gap from relationships. I want to be clear with some things I know people are going to say. In terms of friends, I know that friends and community can give you that sensation and that love for sure. But as I was saying, most of my friends are in a different life period, so they can't dedicate nearly the amount of time that I would be able to dedicate to them or the friendship. And the truth is, as well, as we get older, it's also hard to make friends, especially genuine friends. Like, I'm not the type of person that can just have like fleeting connections and feel fulfilled for that. Like, I need my connections to feel deep, and even from friendships. And which is why, like, I actually don't mind being alone, but I like being alone with at least one person, I guess. Um, but I do feel comfortable like with myself and just being in my own bubble enough to not just be hanging out with anyone just for the sake of hanging out with them, and also with relationships as well, like not just dating anyone just because. And in terms of the be happy with yourself argument, I am totally fine doing things alone, like, which, because that's actually my normal. Like, when I get to do things with someone, especially for the last years, like, to me, like, that's the treat. When I get to go out to dinner with someone, or do an activity with someone, or travel somewhere with someone, like, that's a treat to me because I do all of that stuff constantly alone. The big moves that I've had, I'm managing all of that stuff alone. And that's another thing, is that my 20s were so full, and I did so many amazing, cool things. And not saying, like, of course, there are a million more things that I still would love to do in life, but just not necessarily by myself. But I've done so many awesome things in my 20s, and so many things that I wanted to do, and had so many experiences that I wanted to check off. Like, I did them. So now I'm just ready for a different phase of life. Like, I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready for stability and security, and like, I just don't find as much joy in these sort of like hobbies and activities and travel anymore. It also kind of has started to feel a bit empty because, again, I'm doing it by myself. And yeah, so that's been hard too, because it's hard for me to find motivation to even make efforts to go out. And obviously, like I said, I'm dealing with autoimmune disease right now, so it's hard to even just have energy to do things in general. And on top of everything, I also, because I've jumped around a lot in my life and lived in different places, I've found myself realizing, like, nowhere really feels like home to me. Like, and I could never go back and live in my hometown. I could go close. Like, LA is within an hour or so within my hometown, and I could do LA. But even at this point, LA just doesn't seem like it could feel like home. And obviously, it's super, super expensive. But that would be the place that I have the most, like, base already, kind of. But yeah, so that's another thing that makes me feel so lost and so empty, is like, I I don't have anywhere that feels like home. Everywhere feels like it's starting from scratch. And also, it's like planning things is difficult because I don't want to, like, really settle base myself somewhere, or like try to buy a house, or try to like lock myself in somewhere, because again, I want to have space for someone else to come in if that would be a possibility. So it also makes planning hard, and it's also expensive. It's expensive, like, being an adult on your own these days. So there are a lot of places that I would love to live, and but I just can't afford it on my own. So that's been hard. But I think the biggest thing that I'm really struggling with now is like just feeling like I have no purpose in life, because again, my job, as much as I'm so grateful for it, it's not the type of job that like makes you passionate. Like, it's a very mundane sort of job. But yeah, so there I can't really look. I do some creative freelance stuff, but even that, it's hard to find freelance work these days. And yeah, and I don't, like I said, I don't have kids. I don't even know if I want kids. I also have like fibroids and stuff, so maybe I can't even have kids if I do want them. And I think I'm kind of like telling myself I don't really want them just in case I can't have them. So it kind of saves me some disappointment there. And obviously, like I said, I don't have a partner, I don't have siblings and family members that I'm super close with. And I think that also really, really makes a difference. I know I already talked about it, but I feel like if I had a sister that I was super close with, I just feel like it gives you again a sense of inner security. Because right now, even though I have support, I never want to make it seem like or downplay the support and love that I do have from family and friends. But they all have their own separate lives, like that I'm still on the outside of. Even my parents, both of them are, remarried and, of course, living and enjoying their life as they should. So it's like, it does feel like I am completely alone in the world most of the time. And it's hard, like, and every year that goes by, it just gets more sad and it feels more empty, and I feel more hopeless almost. Like, and I feel like the last couple of years, for sure, it feels like time is at a standstill for me because there's nothing that has changed in my life since 4 years ago, to be honest. Like, everything feels the same and not in a good way. But, anyways, right now I'm trying to first find a feeling of security and home and where I live. So that's kind of my priority right now, is like at least finding a place. It sucks because where I live now, it's so peaceful and beautiful, but there's no chance for finding community, and it's very isolated. So it's not helpful at all. But it's at least like I feel safe in my house. And that's another thing. The world seems so scary to me now. I think because there is a lot going on in the world these days, being alone through that also just makes you feel like a very particular feeling. Again, it's a very unsettling and scary feeling. So I think I kind of also am developing like a very severe anxiety of even being out and doing things and like getting out into the world because I want to be in my safe little bubble. But yeah, my priority is to kind of find home within my house at least, and go from there. But if you guys have tips or of communities for late bloomers and stuff like that, please comment them below. And also, if you've experienced similar things or you're going through it now, or if you have just like a happy ending to your story, or not ending, but just like where things kind of turned around, definitely comment them below. Also, like, comment, and subscribe. Also, like and subscribe if you want, but yeah.